When you apply for the job that you currently have, there were some specific things and skills that you had that you listed on your application which made you qualified for an interview, to which you went on to get the job that you're currently working. And you're doing a job, you got trained a little bit, but pretty much those basic skills that you had, you applied to whatever skill that you're learning, and you're able to effectively do what you're doing for a paycheck. Just a task, you know. So when you get a situation at work where your narcissistic bosses, because they're game players, and I told you guys that every single time we talk, the game will have to be brought up, because the game is the reason for your pain. But that rhymes. The game is the reason for your pain. So these narcissistic bosses will make very unreasonable requests of you on your job, and they will ask you to do something that they full well know that you don't know anything about. So let's give an example. Like maybe you work at a job where you guys program machines or something, or you do things of that nature. And there are different departments, obviously, because different people do different things in the workplace. No one person does everything. But what they'll do is, because they want to see, because you have performed so well with all of these different games that they have set in place and all of these different obstacles, you have gotten around them or figured them out. It's a challenge for them to find that one thing that you can't do, right? To put you in a stressful situation at work on a daily basis, right? That's what they want to do, because once they find this job out, once they find out whatever this thing is, they're going to have you doing it all the time, whether you know how to do it or not. They're not going to get you trained. They're just going to put you out there and let you go for it. So imagine working somewhere where you have to program machines or something, and you have no coding knowledge or any of these things. But they want you to go do something that you've never done before. No one has trained you. They don't even offer you the training, see? So while you're talking to them and they're making these unreasonable requests, we want you to go over to so-and-so department, and we want you to run this machine or do whatever. And you're looking at them because you've never worked in this department. You don't know how to do it. And you're not even going to ask about being trained on it, because you're assuming that the boss has enough common sense to say, well, we're going to get you some help, because they know that you haven't done the job. They hired you, right? So they know that you're not qualified to do this particular work that they're asking of you, because it's a game, folks. So the boss will sit there and have you run over all of these different instructions of things that have nothing to do with your job, and then send you on your way. But I told you guys, because you have to be smarter than them, because you have to be a step ahead of them, you just have to ask the right questions. In this case, you would say, well, so, you walk them back on what they're saying to you. So you want me to operate blah, 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 these machines or whatever. I don't have a code. Is there someone going to be around that I could consult with about getting coding for these machines or something? You want to do that. You want to put it to them in such a way that they realize how silly their request is. Because, these are $1 million companies. These are high-priced equipment. And you don't want to mess something up, because then you'll be responsible. That's part of the game. Then they'll charge you about what you did wrong, knowing that you didn't know anything. And you weren't in a position to tell that boss, I can't do this job, because then you're being insubordinate. See, everything is connected to something they're trying to make you stumble on. You have no idea, right? If you're a thinker like me, you'll sit around and you'll try to figure out, I've had this done to me many times, folks, on different jobs. Because that boss had a mental problem, because that boss, was dealing with something psychological. They had low esteem or something, and they wanted to hurt me. I'm just there trying to get a paycheck and go home. I don't care about that boss. I don't care about none of the flying monkey co-workers. I'm just going into work and I'm going home. That's what most of you guys do, right? You see? And so something as simple as that, just for a paycheck, all of us are working somewhere, right? That's how this works in this world. Even that boss is just working a job, So I'm trying to show you people that the job is not really important to these people. They on the surface, they'll make it look like, they're dedicated to their job and everything, to the higher up narcissists, right? The other game players, they'll make it look like they care, but they really don't care about anything. They'll get you to do the work. They'll get you to stumble or whatever you're going through, they're not going to have to get their hands dirty, folks. You'll take care of that. You're the handyman, right? See? And you'll be really frustrated and confused. And I notice how every time we talk, folks, the confusion word comes out. Because you are confused, right? Why? One, why are you asking me to do a job that I've never done before? There has to be a game involved. See, clueless people will say, okay, and just go about and not even question why this boss had logically assigned you a task that you've never done, right? So let me give you another example. Let's say you worked at a painting company or something, and you were a receptionist or something, a woman or a man, but let's just say you're a woman. We're going to make this extreme. You're a woman, and you work in the office at a painting company who does painting contracts. And one day, one of the guys, the painters, calls out and they're sick or something. So the narcissistic boss at your company comes up to you, one of you ladies, and they say, hey, we're going to need you to help fill in today. We're going to have to get you to help put up some drywall, and we're going to have to get you to paint some things, right? You've never painted in your life. You don't have any experience. You don't have the strength or whatever that's going to be required for you to do this job. And the boss is looking you square in the eyes as if they know that you have this experience. They hired you though. So they know that you're proficient in office work, you're proficient in, PowerPoint or some shit like that. But when it comes down to, you going out there on a job site or something and laying drywall or whatever you're doing, you don't know how to do that stuff, right? There are men who don't know how to do this stuff. So I'm just trying to show you guys that extremity, those extremities of suggestions that the boss will make to you will put you in a state of confusion, right? That confusion will turn to doubt, and that's what they want. They want you to convert that confusion to doubt, and you doubt yourselves. And then they get off on you running around like a chicken with your head chopped off, trying to figure out how to do this task and look good at it, right? Because you don't want to look bad. Because see, everything they do is about their ego. So they're assuming that you're an egotistical person as well. They're assuming that all individuals are like they are. Because they see so many flying monkeys and so many people willing to do their bidding that they have no reason to question, if you're going to think that way. It's all ego-based, people. So what I want you to do, we'll talk about some solutions real quick and then we'll get more into the discussion. But what I want you to do in these situations is ask the right questions of this boss. Show them, put their nose in the shit. Show them that they're being irrational by asking logical questions. See? You're countering. It's just like playing chess or something. You're countering the moves that they're making. You have to stay a step ahead of them. And they're really easy to predict because just like a lion hunting in a jungle or something, just like a lion doing hunting or something, they run in straight lines. So when they see a target, they zoom in on that target and they forget about everything, all of the surrounding circumstances. If in this case with these machines or something, just imagine if you destroyed the machines. And so then the plant will have to shut down for the day because that machine, that special machine, is not going to work properly. See how they've screwed up the production for the job in itself just to hurt you. You see what I mean? They saw that straight line, they ran for it. They saw you as a target and they went for you. They were going to take you down. See how that works? Fuck the machines. Fuck if we got to spend more money to get them fixed. Fuck all of that stuff. See, the narcissistic master planners over them are also straight liners, right? They only see in straight lines, so they won't question or think about how they lost money or something until later on in the year sometime when they're doing an audit or something. They say, oh shit, we had to buy that new machine or something. Then they worry about it. But in the moment where it's pertinent, they could care less because they're all assholes. This is the point I'm trying to get you folks to see. This is a clubhouse culture here of narcissists and assholes. All of the bullies in school, all of the people who picked on other people and shit, and the bystanders who joined in because they didn't want to get picked on, right? Go along to get along type shit. See? And you got all of these people in a workspace. So you'll go to one of your coworkers who has some a limited knowledge of working on these machines or something, and you may say, hey, can you help me out here? I'm trying to figure out these codes. Do I push this button or that button? And they'll say, oh, I have no idea. Even though you've seen them working that machine before, see? Because they're trying to trip you up too. They want to get the thrill of watching you struggle, trying to figure out how to get something done. You see? All of this stuff is relative to a person's mind and what they're thinking and how they feel. See? It's unhealthy because what's going on in my heart should not affect you if you're over there and you haven't done anything to me. See? So that means that I'm looking for someone to blame for why I'm not who I am. This is all psychology, people. Only a crazy fucking mind would venture down a path like that. See? Like a child. So your boss every day gets this huge salary to sit at a desk, not do any work, not worry about the budget, not worry about equipment and machines and things that they're getting paid to do because the assholes appointed them and they don't care either. Right? And they have all of this time to sit around and think about, how can I clip you up today? Because they're thinking about you. You think that you would believe that you have 300, 400 people working around you at any given time at these plants and stuff. And you're thinking, this boss isn't paying attention to me. There's so many other people. But really, out of all of those people, you are one of the effulgent types. You're one of the people who don't seem to act like everyone else. You don't try to fit in. You're not an ass kisser. And the boss, quite frankly, believes or may believe that you see them as assholes. Because you stay away from them. Only when you need to deal with them are you even talking or dealing with them. Right? Most people don't like their bosses. Bosses are idiots. Okay? They're entitled. They're know-it-alls. Don't know shit. This boss themselves probably couldn't even run that machine. But they're going to ask you to do it knowing that you've never had an ounce of training, so to speak. And that's really fucking reckless and stupid when you're talking about managing a company. And that's why I really don't have a lot of respect. I used to be a supervisor, folks. I don't have a lot of respect for these people, right? I couldn't stand my coworkers. When I supervised, I could not stand any of my coworkers. I'm talking about my counterparts, because I would literally sit back and I try to be fair and impartial and stuff most of the time. I wasn't cliquish. I didn't try to get people to follow me or kiss my ass or something. I just wanted them to do their job. That's it. And I got chided a lot for trying to get people who are getting a paycheck to do something so we can go home for the day. I would try to get them to do these things and I would get chided. See? It's really just a culture of fucking anal retentive idiots who are like children. The most childish, severely childish people that you've ever seen in your lives all grow up and have to work somewhere. And now you're working with these fucking fools. They're sabotaging equipment. They're running up costs at the job and the production costs and shit. Many of these things that people do, for the purpose of playing some type of self-enrichment game. I need to beat up on everyone else so I can feel like I'm a big person. Because you got beat up on a lot when you were just a little person, but you're still a little person, see? Trying to show you people. I am really troubled in this world every single day, right? When I go into anyone's job environment, when people bring me up to their job or something, I feel bad for them. Because I know that they want to be set free. If you're going to work every day and that's all you want to do, fine. Some people just like to work, they need something to do, great. But the true thinkers realize that they're slaves to their jobs. The true people like that realize that these people have us in bondage. They don't pay you properly, they steal money from you and want the most out of you. So you'll find yourself with all these odd projects and shit, things that they have concocted, and as soon as you hear these things, they won't even make sense when you hear them. They'll come out of this boss's mouth and they'll sound completely, illogical about what they're asking of you. Hey, get in your car and drive off that cliff. Huh? And we're going to pay you overtime for it. What? And you're sitting there like everything is nonsensical from these people's lips, right? And you're left to try to decipher what they really want you to do, or how the game is set in place to hurt you. Every time I deal with a narcissist, folks, even in business, I have people who lie to me, who try to get over on prices and stuff when I'm getting things and merchandise and all of these things. I have to deal with a lot of bullshit from people all the time. So I go in there expecting, right? Just like Quick Draw McGraw or something. That's his name. Quick Draw McGraw. I got the 2 6-shooters on each hip, right? And I have the clamps, the belts unclipped so I can just pull those things out, right? Just like the Wild West in a saloon or something. I'm ready to be quick draw, right? Quick on the draw. And I do that really proverbially to say that I'm prepared. I go into a gunfight, right, with my hands on the gun. You get what I'm saying? A knife fight with my hands on the handle of the blade or something. I'm just trying to show you people that you have to go into these situations expecting, because dumb people keep sticking their finger in that socket, or crazy people, and they keep getting electrocuted, and they keep saying, "Oh, why did I do that? Let me try it again." That's the definition of crazy, doing something repetitively and expecting something different to happen every time, right? And you're dealing with people, literally, the bosses and stuff, and all of these people, they're just like that, really. They're crazy because they keep trying and trying and trying. That's why you'll work there for years and you'll say, "God damn, when is this shit gonna stop?" Every day is a game. You can clearly see that every day is a game. Tired of this shit, man. And when you get tired of it, that's when you're gonna start being a reactionary person. You're gonna start doing something. And I'm not talking about reacting in a moment, like getting into a petty squabble with these fools. I'm talking about reacting as far as productively moving yourself forward in life. Get off this plantation. Any plantation that you're on, get off of it. Why? You're only being stressed more. You're only fucking dealing with depression or anything these people are bringing to you or creating. Ultimately, you're responsible for how you feel and your own feelings. But but folks, we have to start making people accountable. Because too many of you always talk this bullshit about, no, it's how you feel and all this shit. Yeah, it is. It is. But if I'm working a job and you cut my hours halfway through the week or something, or you have me working past 7 days or something, I start work on a Monday, I don't have a day off to the next Thursday of the next week or something, or you start doing these crazy things like this to me, why can't I be affected? Why can't I be hurt from something you're doing to hurt me? I'm just a person. This is how the best of us think. We don't go with the status quo. We don't accept bullshit. Yeah, this is how it is. They fuck you over. Yeah. No. Fighters don't want to be fucked over. Fighters want to fight back. You get what I'm saying? The justice empath. So, my solution to you guys would be to ask the right questions of these bosses and then go about the task as best you can. Sometimes you may have to force their hand and get help or something if it's too technical and you don't want to put yourself and your job in jeopardy by destroying some expensive equipment or something. But see, I'm trying to make a point to you folks. That should not be on you. The responsibility of that equipment should not be on you. The person who's getting paid to understand how much that equipment costs and why it's important to have it fixed properly, those are the people who should be immersed in this problem, not you. You're only part of the joke. You're only part of the game. And you have to realize that, folks. You just have to realize these people are sick. I'm not gonna stop stressing that these fuckers are sick. Everything they do, anything they say, is part of something they thought of the night before. Do you do that, folks? Are you at home tossing and turning in your bed trying to figure out how to stick a tack under someone's chair the next day or something? Think about it. Think about it. I love bad behavior. But I love when people get jobs and know what they're doing and get to come to work and do what they're getting paid to do. And people don't have to play games with their mind and send them on wild goose chases and all of this shit that these bosses concoct for the purpose of getting some entertainment. If you want to be entertained, how about this, bosses? Go jump off a fucking cliff. How about that? And that'll entertain the rest of us. You folks, come on over to my website, thinkbehavior.info. Pick up my book, I Love Bad Behavior. You can get it on Amazon. Go over there and get it. You guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel or the website or both, preferably. And I'd appreciate that. And, you know, I just want to say, you're going to have to think about what you want to do. You're going to have to think about why you don't want to be confused anymore. And how that confusion is really getting into your mind and fucking you up. Once you realize that, right, you're thinking about an exit plan. You're thinking about ways to stay steps ahead of slow assholes who are BR. See ya.